Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Connecticut at Your Service. My name is Carmen Nieves, and I am your host. And we come to you live each Tuesday where we feature individuals that are making a difference in the community through their work and through their purpose. And today is no exception. Today, my guest is Miss Brenda Thickett. There we go. Brenda Thickett is the WBDC's Chief Operating Officer. She leads the implementation and delivery of quality entrepreneurial programs and services across the state. Brenda served as WBDC on the board of the organization for 8 years as treasurer, vice chair, and board chair before joining the family of WBDC. Previously, she worked at the Boston Consulting Group for over 20 years. She spent the majority of her time at Boston Consulting Group building and managing the social impact practice, serving nonprofit clients all over the world. She has a background in banking, advertising, and small business development, and beyond. She has a BA Summa Cum Laude and a quantitative economics and international relations from Tufts University, and an MBA in entrepreneurship from the Walton School of the University of Pennsylvania, and an MA in International Relations, Schools of Advanced International Studies at St. Johns Hopkins University. Wow, Brenda. Oh my goodness, that is amazing. You know, but as I read your bio, what I didn't hear is about you. And this is really what the show is about. So tell me a little bit about you and kind of what brought you to WBDC, because that's really what I want to know.
Okay, I'm happy to tell you, and thank you so much for having me here tonight, Carmen. I'm thrilled to be joining you. Absolutely. So after our second child was born, I decided that I wanted to volunteer in the community, and I had worked in New York for many years, but had moved to Connecticut 4 or 5 years before and wanted to volunteer and do something serving the state of Connecticut. And so I Googled, I was thinking, I want to support women. I'm interested in helping other women. And I love entrepreneurship and small business. And of course, WBDC popped up. So I went on the website and filled out the volunteer form. And WBDC called me and asked me to volunteer, which I was thrilled to do. And I started by teaching the finance classes in the business planning courses about 15, 18 years ago, so quite a while ago, and volunteered for a couple of years with WBDC teaching these classes, and then eventually Fran asked me to join the board, and I was thrilled to support the organization in that capacity. So I served on the board for a number of years, and then COVID hit, and at the time I had been at the Boston Consulting Group for over 20 years and had an amazing career there. And the last 18 months I was supporting mobility and staffing globally for BCG, literally moving people around the world. But when COVID
I had to
hit,
ask you that when you were telling me. I was like, what does that mean?
But then when COVID hit, the borders all closed, and it was very difficult to move people. So that at that point, I decided that it was time to make the jump and focus on something much more local. And I was ready at that point to move to the nonprofit sector. And so connected with Fran Pastore, our CEO and founder.
Wonderful, Fran. We missed you. We
miss
love
you,
you.
Fran.
We hope you're feeling better.
Exactly. And so joined WBDC as an employee, and it's been really exciting and really fun. We've had tremendous growth over the past 3 years since I've been on staff at the WBDC.
I just think that it's really great, and we were talking before the break about the class that you taught, and I was like, I took a class because I'm a client of WBDC. Way many days. You were probably even my teacher. It was probably like that far back.
Could be.
And I was like, what was the name? It was so long ago. You're like Fast Track. So tell me a little bit about that and some of the services that WBDC offers. Give me some juicy information about who you serve, what you do,
Absolutely.
and then we want to introduce our audience to some of the women that you've helped.
Terrific. So WBDC does classes, as you have experienced. What was the Fast Track Business Planning class? We now teach a version of that, which is called Guide to Plan for Success, or GPS. It's a 9-week business planning class. We have other classes for startups. If you're thinking about starting a business, called Exploring Entrepreneurship. We also have Making Sense of Your Idea. Can I make money at this business? Helping you think through that. Mm-hmm. We also have classes on everything from marketing, how to write a marketing plan, how to do search engine optimization, to QuickBooks and accounting, and how to access capital, how to get a loan. Our second area of service is we have a team of business advisors that will meet with clients one-on-one to help them with any opportunity or challenge that they're facing. So anything from, you really need help sorting out your QuickBooks, to how do you think about marketing, and how can you reach more customers and more clients. And most of our classes and business advising is free. And then
Could you say that again?
Most of our classes and our business advising is free.
I just wanted to make sure our audience heard that.
Yes, absolutely. And then our third area of programming is grants. That since COVID, we've been making grants for the last 4 years to small businesses across the state, and we've given out almost $10 million now to almost 800 businesses.
Wow.
It's really amazing.
And we were talking before we came on the show, that I think one of the things that I most admired is that a lot of people are not accessing money because they're scared. I mean, you're very formal and you're very specific about what you ask for, but you also give a lot of support to help someone through the application process. And I know that you've got some grants coming up, so we'll talk about that in a little bit, but what are some of the ways that you support these women in applying for the grant?
We provide a lot of support when people are applying for grants. So we offer information sessions, which are, an hour-long class, which goes through what the grant application is, the kinds of things we're looking for, and what all the different pieces people need to submit. And then we also have our business advisors, who I mentioned before, can meet one-on-one with any client to help them, work through their financials, their projections, what they're going to use the money on, any aspect of the grant application, we will support them through.
And even review it, right? Before, like a different person does it other than
so we have an external review committee that makes the decision on who will get the grants. So it's not our staff that's making that decision, but our staff will absolutely work with businesses as they're going through the application process and supporting them through that.
And I think that it's important because I think that you really do a good job of saying, this is what you need to have, this is what you need to do, this is how you need to present it. I think one of the things you talked about is just to be able to apply for it is that the business has to have a bank account in the business's name.
Absolutely.
And some small businesses, especially since they're sole proprietors, don't tend to do that.
Yeah.
But it actually holds them back from growth because kind of being as straight and narrow as you can makes you fearless.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that was actually the genesis for the grant program, was that during COVID, the PPP, the Payroll Protection Program, a lot of our clients couldn't access the money. I think it's very well known that 80% of the money, especially in the beginning, went to male and white-owned businesses. And part of the challenge that we were seeing with our clients is they didn't have P&Ls, they didn't have a separate bank account, and so they couldn't access the support that the government was trying to give them. And so that's the rationale for some of the requirements that we have for the grant programs, that you can't be commingling your personal and your business bank accounts. You need to have separate bank accounts. You need to be keeping an electronic bookkeeping system so that you can produce a P&L and a balance sheet. And the other piece and the kind of secret around our grant program applications is that it's essentially a business loan application. And so once we have helped you and supported you through the grant application, we've given you the money. You've essentially done the work that you can literally take it to the bank and go and ask for a loan if that's something that you want to do to continue to grow your business. And on our Ignite grant program, we've had about 30 clients go on to access another $2.5 million in outside capital, which we are thrilled about and thrilled to see them continuing to grow their businesses.
Well, you know what I want to see? I want to see some of the people that you guys have helped, because and we'll talk about kind of like your service area, but we found a little gold mine of some pictures of some of the women that you've helped through your program.
Yeah. So we support about 3,000 women-owned or 3,000 businesses a year. And these are some of our clients that we have supported also through our grant programs. So the top corner is Shalina Pitterson of Orchid Maids Cleaning Service in Norwich. She is fantastic. She received the Ignite grant, which is the growth grant from WBDC, and has done lots of classes and advising with us. Going on the other side on the top, Nesa with the playground in the background, she runs the Learning Barn in Naugatuck, which is a childcare center. And WBDC, she came to us saying, I want to start a center because I can't find childcare for my 2 foster kids. And she now has a center with enough space for 75 kids.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? Absolutely amazing. And we have supported her through that process as well as with grants. And she opened in October of 2022. Below her is Melissa Sujan of Lauren Simone Publishing. We've also supported her with an Ignite grant. She's taken classes and done business advising, and she creates Black, brown, and multicultural and diverse and inclusive children's books, and they are fantastic books. So she's terrific. And then on the bottom left is Liz Zeppos of Cross Culture Kombucha, which she is a kombucha manufacturer based in Danbury, and we supported her with a grant to buy some equipment so that she could increase the scale of her kombucha production, and she has since moved to a bigger space where she's got an even bigger tap room, and just continues to grow. So it's really exciting to meet so many of our clients, and they just have such a diverse set of businesses. I mean, women are so creative.
I love that, and there's almost like a different level of support. And we were talking about before because we had like this great chat before the show, and really about that. And I'm sorry, we had a video that we were going to play that's not going to play, but we will share it on our website and on our Facebook. But in that, Fran was talking about, and even you referenced it as we were talking about, that really when you help a woman start a business, it actually is helping the family, and it might have been Dorothy that might have said that in the video. But it's so true.
Right.
What is your take on that?
Absolutely. I mean, we're helping a business get started and grow, and then it's creating more jobs that's supporting that woman and her family, but others as well, and growing communities and main streets across the state.
And I say this all the time, and I don't remember if I said it on air or off air, but we were talking about how businesses start because they're either filling a need or feeling like a purpose, like this is what I have to do and I have this calling to do. And it's so great. So I know that you had some big news today. Matter of fact, today. So tell us about the big news, and then we're going to put up your locations.
Okay, terrific. Yeah, so today was very exciting. We had a press conference in Hartford to announce that we are opening an office in Hartford with the support of the Small Business Administration and the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development. So we are thrilled to be adding a 5th location. We just found out last week that we got the funding, so it's going to take us some time to find a space and hire staff. But we're really exciting to add to our footprint to reach even more small businesses across the state. So
I know, and I might have asked you this before, does WBDC serve only women?
So we serve about 96% of our clients are women. So we do serve what we say is a few brave men.
Okay.
But yeah, so we serve all small businesses and all aspiring business owners. So people that think they might want to start a business or have an idea. So we serve all types. We are focused on women, but we absolutely serve men. And we also have municipal grant programs with the city of Waterbury and the city of Torrington. And those grant programs are open to men.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I just want to put up the slide that has the locations, and I think it says that the Hartford is to be determined.
Yes.
But tell us a little bit about the locations and just generally the service that they can expect when they go in the door.
Absolutely. So our first office was in Stamford, and that's our headquarters where we've been for many years.
Way back. Yeah.
And then the next office we opened was New Haven, which is in the district, which is a great co-working space. And then we opened New London in 2018, and we are now in the old Liberty Bank building on Bank Street, which is a really fun location. And then last fall, we opened Waterbury on Grand Street, which we were very excited to add a new office in Waterbury. And then this year, hopefully, sometime soon, we'll have Hartford. Yes.
So talking about the growth of WBDC, tell me a little bit. I know that you've got some events coming up.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about those. Some of them are year after year, right?
Yes, absolutely. So the one that we have coming up next is actually next week on April 11th. We have Women-Owned Business Day, which is at the state capitol, and we bring together small businesses and legislators to talk and share some of the issues and challenges facing small businesses, and hear from the legislators and create a conversation and connect everyone.
So how does somebody say they want to be part of that if they wanted to join you?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's open to everyone. You can go on our website and register, and all the information for it is on our website. And we usually do it every year in April. The date changes a little bit, but it's always in April. And then our second big event is our annual gala, which this year is on October 25th, and that one is usually down in Greenwich. And we bring together a lot of supporters of the organization. We usually get about 700 people in the room. It's really amazing.
So great.
Yeah, and our keynote this year is Carla Harris, and she's phenomenal. So
that's so awesome.
It should be great.
So how do people find out, your classes? How do they find out, how to look up one of the grants, because there are deadlines to those grants, right? And there's a child care one.
Absolutely. So our website has all our information, all our classes. There's a class listing page where you can find, all the upcoming classes for the next several months. We also offer classes in English and in Spanish. We have 5 employees that speak Spanish and deliver services in Spanish. But so our classes are all on our website, as are our grant programs. We have 3 areas of grant programs. One is our startup grants for businesses that are new or less than 2 years old.
Caller, hold one moment, please.
They take one of our business planning classes, do an application, and do a 3-minute pitch. And those are ongoing, and you can find the information on that on our website. The classes are usually starting every couple of months. We have our Ignite grant for growth, which we run.
I'm going to have you hold on to that.
Yep.
Just because I don't want to. Hello, caller, and thank you for calling Connecticut at your service. Do you have a call for Ms. Brenda? A question for Ms. Brenda?
Hi, yes. I was just wondering if you have any classes geared towards women of color.
Yes, so actually all of our classes are open to anyone. About half, 47% of our clients are women of color, and over 40% of our staff are. So,
and one
absolutely.
Brave man.
And one brave man, exactly. We do have one brave man on our staff. But yes, so absolutely.
You want to just tell her the website again?
Yes, www.ctwbdc.org.
Great, and you can find out all the information about that, of all the classes, which are free.
Yes, and our business advising is free as well.
Thank you. Was that it?
Yes, that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, caller, and keep watching. Sorry about that. So you were talking about the Ignite?
Yeah, so the Ignite grant is our grant to support businesses to grow, and businesses need to have been in business for 2 or more years and have revenues of more than $25,000 and less than $2 million. And they tell us what sort of strategic investment they need to help their business grow. And we run that grant program twice a year. We actually just closed last month, the current round, so we'll be distributing that money in May, and then the next round will open up in August.
Oh, in August will be the next one for that.
And we've given out over $2.5 million in growth grants so far. And Ignite.
And these are grants. They don't have to pay
no
you back.
repayment. Exactly.
Wow. And what is the minimum and the max that somebody can apply for?
They can apply for anywhere between $2,500 and $10,000 for the Ignite grant. And then our third area of grants is our child care grants. And we have grants of from $2,500 to $25,000. There are 3 different types of child care grants. Our startup grants to help people start child care facilities, both in-home and centers.
Oh, in-home, that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. We serve many in-home child care providers in our classes and in our grants. The second area of grants is expansion grants to help child childcare providers add seats or slots, to their facilities. And then the third is emergency facilities grants. So if someone has something that like their heater breaks or their boiler breaks, so they can't have heat in their house, and they don't have the 10,000 sitting around or whatever it's going to take to replace
their daycare down.
Exactly, and that's the whole point of these grants, is to keep daycare facilities open, and so, or childcare facilities open. So what, so when it's things like that, or a water main breaks, or something where it's an emergency and they need the cash quickly to stay open, so that then the parents also can't go to work if their childcare closes.
And you guys just celebrated 25 years.
Yes, we are.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, we are in our 26th or 27th year now.
Wow, so that's an old video I was watching.
Yeah, exactly.
But you guys got to see it on the website, because it is wonderful. And just to know how it started, and I wish we had the video. We're going to make sure that we post it on our website. So look out for our personal website. The website address will be at the end. But it really talks about how, you tell the story of how she started, because I know it.
So Fran and Dorothy, our Fran Pastore and Dorothy Bratchell, our co-founders, started 27 years ago, or almost 27 years ago, because there wasn't a women's business center in the state, and an organization that was supporting women who wanted to start and run their own businesses.
And so some of the things that WBDC does to champion for women is, tell me some of the things, because I saw in the video that they do lobbying, not necessarily, they testify.
We don't do lobbying. Yeah.
They testify, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, we testified in support of childcare in the last month or two. So we will absolutely, and that's part of Women-Owned Business Day, is advocating and being the voice for women-owned businesses. Mm-hmm. During the pandemic, we also did town halls that brought together legislators and municipal leaders and constituents that were small business owners to talk about what their needs were and what was going on. So absolutely, advocacy for women-owned businesses is a really important part of what the organization does.
And I love that, because I remember when I took the class that there were women of, all nationalities, spoke different languages.
Absolutely.
And I remember some of us would be at the starting stage. It's like, this is what I want to do. And some were more advanced. And there's something about, women wanting to help other women that just makes it feel good.
It's amazing. And, a lot of during the pandemic, we moved our classes to Zoom, like everyone did, but we also found that women could access the knowledge and the experts that they needed so much easier on Zoom, rather than sitting in traffic on 95 in Connecticut, right? But we found that was fantastic in terms of reaching people and making our services more accessible. But what we lost was the networking and people connecting with each other. And so we've started doing monthly networking events at our offices around the state, where we're really bringing clients together and letting them make connections and learn from each other and share expertise and knowledge, and also support each other.
Yeah.
So that's been a really phenomenal kind of evolution that we've had.
It's almost like you've got to lift each other.
Absolutely.
So I know all that you do, right? And the whole team of WBDC, which I love them all. I was mentioning to you that I've known Louise for a long time. Dorothy, I love her. Fran, I've loved her since the day I met her, and just treat you the same. She's the same, even though the organization has grown.
Oh, absolutely.
Since the day I met her. Like, we see each other, we hug each other, and that's really what you want to see as you're seeing women that you've helped kind of grow. Yeah. But kind of, what's the best part for you of this work?
I mean, it's really seeing the growth that our clients make, and especially when we give them a grant, they're like, that was really hard, that application. But I am so proud, and I have so much confidence now that I've done that, and someone else believes in me. And so watching, in what used to be the fast track, the GPS class, they practice their pitch at the beginning of the students at the beginning of every class, and to watch the growth as they refine their business idea, and just get crisper and sharper.
Confidence, right?
Absolutely. It's really amazing to see. And, at the event today in Hartford, we had several clients that were there, and, hearing them talk about their business and how far they've come and how much they've learned, is just phenomenal.
I think the real, secret sauce is the individual.
Yes.
Because not every business is the same.
No.
So it's really about, you think it might be, but it's really not. This daycare is run this way, or maybe, they have a very specific clientele. you know, children with special needs, or so it's not 100% the same to continue to allow them
and
to
the
grow.
businesses are all so different. I mean, everything from candle makers to, you know, dentists to yoga teachers, right? There's just such diversity, and it's amazing to see. But the thing that I find so interesting is, you know, the women go into that business because that's what they love, right? They love baking, they love children, they love whatever, but they don't love the business part of it. That's not
a lot
why.
of people don't. I like making the money. I don't know how I like spending the money.
Right.
I think the hardest thing is not, you know, in a lot of small businesses, you know, when you tell your friends and your family, they want to help you, so they tend to be your first kind of customers, your more critique you the most, you know, but you know, people want to help you, but if you don't know how to sustain that, how to keep it as a business.
Absolutely.
You know.
And in our business planning class, you know, not everyone comes out at the end with a business. And honestly, that's success too, because if they figure out, you know, in thinking through what their business plan is going to be, that they actually can't make money, I would much rather have them figure that out on paper before they quit their job, right? And then they can figure out what they need to change so that they can make money and they can support themselves with their business.
So if someone is either thinking about a business or already in the business, and what are 3 pieces of advice that you would give them? Just top 3 things, and we only have a few minutes, but what are your top 3 pieces of advice if someone's looking to launch a business or say, WBDC, I need some help?
Yeah, so I would say 1, don't be afraid to ask for help, and come to us and we will help you. And we always say it's a no judgment zone. You know, just because you don't have a bank account or you don't have QuickBooks, like today's the day. It's never too late. And
you
so,
can get it, and then you can apply next time.
Exactly. So, you know, don't be afraid to ask for help. The second thing I think is know your numbers. It's really, the numbers can be scary, but it's really important to know, you know, how are you making money? How are you making money? And, you know, understand, you know, is your business profitable? Where are the growth areas of your business? So that, you know, that you can grow. And third, I don't know what the I think
helping to market, and one of the things that I think is so great is that you guys actually have a member directory, right?
Yes, absolutely. So we have a business directory of women-owned businesses in Connecticut on our website. So I encourage you, if you don't have a business but you want to support other women-owned businesses, please go and buy from those businesses. And if you're not in our directory and you'd like to be, the information for how to get in it is on our website. But that, you know, just kind of getting your name, it will help you get your name out there as well.
That is so awesome. You know, Brent, thank you so much for coming here today. Tell us one more time how they could reach WBDC.
Absolutely. So our website is on the bottom of the screen there. So please go check out our website. You'll find information there on our classes, our business advising, and our grant programs.
Wonderful. So we have like less than 20 seconds for you. What's next for WBDC?
So Hartford is what's next for WBDC. We are thrilled about our growth and our new office in Hartford. So we're looking forward to hiring a team and continuing to serve even more businesses in Hartford. I mean, we serve about 3,000 clients a year, but there's over 110,000 women-owned businesses in the state.
Wow.
So there are a lot more that we can serve.
That's great. And they've got 5 locations to help you do that, and all the services for free. So Brenda, friends at WBDC, thank you so much for sharing your information. Our individuals that watch us and tune in every week, thank you for being on. Here's the contact information to reach Brenda. For us, we can't wait to see you next week, where we'll interview some other individuals. And our last slide for Connecticut at Your Service, make sure that you're following us on the website, on Facebook, on YouTube. Email us, and if you know someone that should be on our show, make sure that you call us. And we'll see you next time on Connecticut at Your Service.